Hey, I'm Sheila, and I'm so glad you've been joining me for 29 Days to Great Sex. We've been having a lot of fun on the blog going over some of the things that you can do to spice up your sex life and make it into something which is really fulfilling for you. And that's been my aim, is to talk specifically to women about how to make your sex life fulfilling, because I know for many women this has become a real sore spot in their marriages. Now, over the last week or so that I've been doing this, I've gotten some great emails and some great comments from women who are saying, thank you. I hadn't put enough effort into sex, and some of your suggestions are really working for me, and our marriage has never been better, and that's great. But I've also received some emails from women and some comments on this blog from women saying, I just don't get it. I hear what you're saying, but it's not computing for me. I do not understand how sex could ever be something good that I should look forward to. And so today I want to talk specifically to you, because I understand what you're feeling. I really do. But I don't want you to be stuck there. So let me tell you just a little bit about where I'm coming from, just to let you know I truly do understand. You see, when I got married, sex did not feel good for me at all. It was painful. I felt like I had to have sex anyway because my husband wanted it so much and I didn't want to let him down, and I had all this guilt on top of me. But at the same time, I thought everybody else, their whole life has been lying to me. I look at the culture and everyone looks like they're having sex and they're enjoying it, but I knew it really wasn't that great. I thought it was kind of like an emperor's new clothes thing, where everybody was afraid to spill the beans. But here's the thing, that wasn't true. My feelings were real. My feelings were absolutely real, but that's not true about sex. God really did make it to be good, and I think a lot of us are believing lies. We think this is never going to feel very good for me. Now, often when sex is a hard part in your marriage, you hear these messages from Christians who are saying, you know what? Your body belongs to your husband, so you better just make love whether you want to or not. And I don't think that's a great message to give to women who are really struggling in this area, because it just adds a whole lot of guilt. And so that's not exactly what I want to say to you today. What I want to say to you instead is this. Everybody who's saying that sex is great, they're honestly not lying. Sex really is great. God made it to be great. And if you're not experiencing that right now, don't you wish you were? Seriously, like, don't you just wish you were? Don't you wish that you could actually orgasm? Don't you wish that you could look forward to sex? Don't you wish that it could be something that would bring you and your husband together? Think about it that way. This is something which should be good in your marriage. And if it isn't, this can be good for you. It really can. But the first step in getting to that point is you need to believe that. You need to believe that it can be good for you right now. It doesn't mean you need to know how you're going to get there, because our sex drives are almost entirely in our heads. And if you have been telling yourself lies, if you have been saying sex is terrible and it's never going to feel good and I was not created for pleasure and sex was made for men, not for women, then you're right. It isn't ever going to feel good. But don't you want more? Like, really, don't you want more? Because there is more. And your husband wants that for you. Your husband doesn't want it for you just so that he can get his jollies, okay? Your husband is not only interested in having an orgasm. Your husband wants the intimacy that comes from sex. Here's what I would really encourage you to do. Go back to day 1 and go back to day 2, where I talk about some of the lies that we women believe, and really read those posts and pray over them. God made sex to be good for you. If it isn't right now, it can get there. It really can, but it only will if you believe it. So please go back and read those posts with an open mind and ask God to let this be something that you hope for yourself, that you are excited about for yourself, not just for your husband, but for you. Because if we can start seeing that maybe, just maybe, this is something that could be good for me, then I think you're on the road to getting to that point. That's what happened for me. I started to say, okay, if everyone else is having a good time and I'm not, there must be something else here that I'm missing. And I determined to myself to go figure it out what I was missing, and I got there. And it was a head thing. I had to make the decision. And I hope that you can make that decision too, because your marriage will be so much better.